Now we are going to solve the seventh problem in the chapter 7. Look at here. This is the first Polaroid. Through the first Polaroid, I naught, the initial intensity of the incident light is how much? 32 watt meter power of minus 2. After incident on the first Polaroid, we know very well that the intensity of the outcoming light, polarized light, will be reduced to half. Therefore, the outcoming light's intensity can be called as I1. Its intensity will be equal to I naught by 2. That is, initial intensity is reduced by half, I naught by 2. After the intensity I1 light, if it is made to incident on the second Polaroid, as per the Malus law, the intensity of the outcoming light from the Polaroid 2 is I2 will be equal to I1 amount of cos square theta. This is the formula obtained from Malus law. Here, what is theta here? Theta is the angle between the transmission axis of the first Polaroid and second Polaroid. A dotted line is shown, that is the reference line. Are you clear? So this is the original axis line of the first Polaroid. With respect to that, the second Polaroid to be rotated through an angle of theta. Therefore, cos square theta is written here. Now, the third Polaroid is kept here. The light from the second Polaroid, the outcoming light from the second Polaroid, is made to incident on the third Polaroid. Okay. So, when the third Polaroid is rotated through an angle of pi, the outcoming light, intensity of the outcoming light will become 3 watt meter power of minus 2. Initially, the incident light intensity is 32 watt meter power of minus 2. Finally, it is reduced to 3 watt meter power of minus 2. The outcoming light's intensity after passing through all the three Polaroid is this much. First, you have to understand the angles. Here, theta is the angle between the transmission axis of the first Polaroid and second Polaroid. And then pi is the angle between the transmission axis of the second Polaroid and third Polaroid. And according to the problem, the angle between the transmission axis of the first Polaroid and third Polaroid is 90. Are you clear? How much? 90. So what is the angle between the transmission axis of the first Polaroid and third Polaroid? In between this line and this line, the angle is how much? 90 degree. Both are perpendicular to one another. So from the diagram, it is clearly understood that if theta, we know the angle called theta. If theta and pi, if both are added, you will get 90 degree. Therefore, we are able to get the angle pi. So pi is equal to 90 degree minus theta. Are you clear? So already I have derived the formula with the help of Malus law. I3 is equal to I2 times of, I2 means intensity of the outcoming light from the second Polaroid is I2. I2 times of cos square pi. Here pi is the rotated angle. Is it clear? With respect to the second Polaroid. With respect to the second Polaroid, if it is rotated, the third Polaroid, in between the angle between the third Polaroid axis and second Polaroid axis is pi. Now we know the value of pi. Okay. So now here the steps to be started right from here. So I have written all the explanation about the angles. Theta is the angle between the transmission axis of P1 and P2. Pi is the angle between the transmission axis of the P2 and P3. 90 degree is the angle between the transmission axis of P3 and P1. We are asked to calculate the value of theta. Which value? Here we are rotating the third Polaroid now. After rotating the third Polaroid, here that pi is created. With the help of pi, with the help of other values, you are asked to calculate the angle between the transmission axis of the first Polaroid and second Polaroid, that theta to be found out. Are you clear? Because the second Polaroid that is kept in between the first Polaroid and third Polaroid. Are you clear? So to create this much intensity, at what angle the second polaroid to be rotated? That is a question here. How to start with? Here the first step is I3 formula to be substituted. I3 is equal to I3 is equal to I3 is equal to I2 cos square pi. So this is the formula which is already written here. I3 is equal to, we know the formula for I2. I2 is equal to I1 cos square theta. Instead of I2 I have written again cos square pi can be written. Instead of I2 I have written this formula. Okay. In the next step, I3 is equal to I1 cos square theta. We know the formula for pi. Instead of pi, there you substitute 90 minus theta. I3 is equal to I1 cos square theta. Cos square theta, cos square 90 minus theta, that can be converted into sin square theta. Okay. Here we know the value of I3 and what is that? I1. Are you clear? I3 is equal to I1 value is I0 by 2 cos square theta sin square theta can be written. The value of I3 is how much? 3. I0 value is 32 divided by 2 cos square theta sin square theta, both can be written. Now this one becomes 3. 32 divided by 2 is equal to 16 cos square theta sin square theta can be written. Okay. Now this 16 that can be split into 4 into 4. Later it can be written as cos square theta sin square theta. So here the 3 can be, that could be written as it is 4 into, this entire factor can be written within the square. If 4 is taken within the bracket, that one becomes 2. So later we can write it as cos theta sin theta whole square can be written. Okay. 3 is equal to 4. 2 cos theta sin theta. 2 cos theta sin theta, that can be written as sin 2 theta. This is a formula, trigonometrical formula. 2 cos theta sin theta can be written as sin 2 theta. Okay, whole square can be written. And then this 4 that can be cross multiplied. That 4 can be cross multiplied. That one becomes 3 by 4. 3 by 4 is equal to sin 2 theta whole square can be written. Here take square root on either side. Square root of 3 by 4 is equal to square root of sin 2 theta whole square can be written. Are you clear? After taking square root, what will happen? That one becomes root 3 by 2, which is equal to sin 2 theta can be written. Sin 2 theta is equal to root 3 by 2 means what should be the value of 2 theta? 2 theta value must be equal to 60. 2 theta sin 60 is equal to how much? Root 3 by 2. Therefore 2 theta must be 60. Therefore ultimately theta value will be equal to 60 degree divided by 2, which is equal to 30 degree. So the meaning is, if the second polaroid, if it is rotated through an angle of 30 degree, what will happen? The intensity of the incident light, that one will be reduced to 3 watt meter power of minus 2, provided the transmission axis, that P1 and P2, both of them must be perpendicular to one another. The angle between the first transmission axis and the second transmission axis of these two should be how much? 30 degree. Only then this intensity will be reduced to this much. Okay.